Good morning. Saturday mornings are often about reflection, introspection. We look back at life, how the year has been since we're already into the last quarter of this year, and we think about life and relationships and family and finances and career and aspirations and so on. Why waste time in doing all that? Keep it nice and easy.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
India playing.
Your introspection is which game are you covering today?
Sir, it is cricket for now.
And after 4 hours carom?
Unless someone calls, I'll go, sir.
You're like genuine multi-sport tasker.
Sir, क्या करे sir? करना पड़ता है. But today cricket.
Okay. What are you introspecting? You gave one very philosophical.
Sir, Saturday. When you are out of ideas, go to philosophy. I was wondering how to open the show, sir. But it's true, right? We
Correct.
tend to reflect on life on Saturday. Chai पीते पीते. सोचा आज करना ही नहीं है कुछ. Why waste time thinking of all that? भाई cricket है. India playing in Australia, third ODI. India has already lost the first two games. A lot to play for. Rohit Kohli very much there. Although this is a team sport, so we won't do what others do. We'll focus on the whole team. Let's start up front. Zach, what have you observed about this Indian team in the two losses? Fans tend to overstate wins as well as losses. We're also looking at the World Cup. How have you seen this Indian team?
Well, if you look at it, 3 ODI series looks like a very short, small, crisp series, isn't it? There's hardly any time. So if you get on a wrong foot, you always going to struggle. You'll feel that pressure. That's what happened. Rain-affected game didn't help. I think that rhythm which we wanted, that start we wanted as an Indian team, they didn't get it. So that was visible. I think batting effort needs to be looked at for sure. It's evident that every time Indian team has done well, you've seen those top 3 contributing consistently and putting the opposition bowlers under pressure. So that we didn't see in this series. I think that was a big miss.
Right. Quick news from Sydney. India has lost their 18th consecutive toss since the 2023 World Cup semi-final. India.
What are the odds of that happening? It is incredibly rare that a team should lose 18 tosses, given that the chance of winning a toss each time is 1 in 2.
Yeah.
So even if you lose 18, the 19th time, your chance of winning is still 1 in 2.
Correct.
Or losing is still 1 in 2. But to lose one and another and another and another is 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. It creates, it's a ridiculous probability.
For a change, Australia have chosen to bat first. On what is a hard pitch, we do trust Parthiv Patel's pitch reports with Shane Watson. A hard pitch, first thought in a bowler's mind, in a pace bowler's mind when you see a wicket like that. Very hard surface.
You look at the data, it's just suggesting the same fact, isn't it? Team batting first, averaging 311 on this venue has been a good batting surface. Maybe the first half an hour, 40 minutes, typically with the moisture in the pitch, 2 new balls. If you get the ball in the right area as a bowler, you can get some purchase out of the pitch and get some early inroads.
Yeah.
But in spite of that, you've seen teams scoring runs here.
Yeah.
So that is the big plus, I think, and that made the decision easy for Australia as well. To win the toss and bat first.
You mentioned data. In fact, Australia have an incredible record in Sydney. They won their last 6. India has lost their last 3 at Sydney. India don't really do well in white ball cricket at this venue. He mentioned data. Do we in broadcast take data too seriously, or have you seen players and teams also look at that?
They all look at data. Data itself is not an end. It is what you do with the data, what you read into the data. What you read and what he reads and what I read might be different. Also, you search for what you want to look for in the data. The data cannot smother you. It's not like you put a pillow on your head and strangle someone. The data has to help you hone your decision making. So if the data is saying that you win the toss first, bat 311, you immediately check if it's a similar kind of surface. Because the numbers will tell you a story, all other things being equal. So those are the things you look for. But here in Australia, between 21 and 22 and 24, pitches don't change very much. So the data is fairly accessible. So maybe they thought, chalo, let's go and bat first, put up a score. India's top order struggling a little bit, let's put pressure. They must have thought that's the way to go.
Right. A lot of runs expected on this pitch. The first 2, of course, not very high-scoring games. A look at the Indian 11. 2 changes, much along the lines of what was expected. Arshdeep not playing and Nitish Kumar Reddy out as well, I believe, because of some quadriceps trouble. And in comes Kuldeep Yadav and Prasidh Krishna. Your thoughts?
Well, obviously, Arshdeep is a forced change here, and Prasidh gets a game, so that's a big plus, for him to get a game in these conditions. Kuldeep, we all have been talking about. I think this maybe they should have started the series with this sort of a combination, and that would have produced a better result. Maybe we've seen in ODIs those middle overs are so crucial, and if you have a wicket taker who can really change the course of the game. So that is something which we'll have to wait and see how he goes on about doing his business in this game. But the numbers, when you look at Kuldeep, be it test matches, be it ODIs, T20s, he's been someone who has been making the impact.
Yeah.
And that is, if he puts his hand up in this game, even though it's a small opportunity, but if he's able to do that, then going forward, you'll see that change in thought process from the think tank.
Yeah, in Test cricket, especially in Sena countries, I understand Kuldeep wouldn't get a chance in the 11. But in white ball cricket, shouldn't he be the first name on
the reason in Sena countries he may not get in is none of your fast bowlers bat. Because there you want to play 3 fast bowlers. If one of the fast bowlers had batted well enough to be number 8, Kuldeep would have played every single time.
Okay.
But because your fast bowlers cannot bat, then if Kuldeep bats at 8, they think the batting is too short. So Kuldeep is not playing not because he's not good enough on those surfaces, but because in the balance of the side, none of the fast bowlers are batting. See, with Australia, Cummins bats at 8. If you had the equivalent of Cummins who could bat properly at number 8, then Kuldeep would have played.
Yeah.
But even in the ODIs, if you see his stats, 47 matches, 72 wickets, that's 1.5 wickets a game. 1.5 wickets a game over that many numbers is fantastic at an economy rate around 4.5.
Yep.
That is why most people from overseas look at India and say, serious? You don't play Kuldeep? But in the current thinking, you want to bat deep.
Yeah.
And that is why it's Kuldeep's lack of batting, it's the absence of Hardik Pandya. There's a lot of other things that are contributing. Whether you agree with that philosophy or no is a different issue. I'm a little worried about Nitish Reddy. If it is true that it's a little quad strain or whatever that's keeping him out, he's missing too many matches because of injury. I mean, he's very fit young man, but he's a little injury prone. And I just wonder whether that is an area he needs to work on, because the person he's replacing, and he's the long-term replacement, because Hardik Pandya keeps breaking down, but you can't have Nitish Reddy, young man, breaking down so much.
Yeah. The captain has in fact confirmed that he has some quadriceps trouble, so we do have a confirmation on that. But on Kuldeep, we saw that in the Champions Trophy, he seems to be India's go-to guy. Of course, Bumrah is your first pick, but is Kuldeep Yadav India's #1 white ball spinner?
At the moment, given enough opportunities, I think he will be. And I'm saying it simply because if you look at his style of bowling, he's naturally a wicket taker. He's not someone who will look to contain because of the style of bowling he has. He likes to flight the ball. He's got those variations. The Chinaman attributes to natural variation as well. Not many are used to seeing those kind of bowlers. So all those factors are going in his favor. And because the natural instinct is to go for wickets, because he's not someone, the finger spinners, you've seen that, when the pressure comes, at times, they have to make conscious effort of flighting the ball. Or usually just to dart in and then, go quicker. But with him, even if he's under pressure, his go-to is to maybe bowl touch slower, maybe use those variations wide, bowl those wrong ones, So all those kind of things gives you that natural instinct of going for wickets even if you're under pressure. That really makes a difference in this format.
Before we go to the Australia 11, just a quick one, Harsha, on this combination business that is often discussed every time India announces their 11, 8+3 or 7+4, one batter shot today or not. Are you okay with 7?
There's a fallacy that we talk about very often, that if 7 are not going to get it, 8 are. And I think that is where you talked about data earlier on. I think you need to go back and say, how often does number 8 make a contribution? What does number 8 do in a batting lineup? How many games are there where you've lost 3 or 4 early and number 8 has scored valuable runs to allow you to get over the line? On an average, how many balls does number 8 face? Say in T20, you just want someone who will come in for 3-4 balls. You just need him to be able to hit a 6. But in ODI cricket, do you need a little bit more from your number 8? Today, it will be a good test if it comes to that to see if Harshit Rana can play that role. He showed he could hit the ball hard in the previous game. But yes, it helps because sometimes I think if your number 8 isn't batting, the top order can get a little conservative. So from that point of view, yes, your number 8 must be able to bat.
Saurav Ganguly got Rahul Dravid to keep in the World Cup 03 and he had his own way of figuring his own balance. Yeah. How do you think India should go about striking that? What's the right balance according to you?
Well, if you look at, and I'm just comparing different formats here, but just trying to see how a change in thought process creates that opportunity for you. You've seen with the Indian Test team as well, with Virat and Ravi being there, they made that conscious effort of playing 5 bowlers.
Yep.
And that was just basically showing that, okay, we will be batting thin, but we are trusting our 5 batters to do the job. And 5 bowlers are going to give you that opportunity of going and taking those 20 wickets. So even if in the process we're going to be under pressure with the bat, we will find a way of creating that. And the contribution of all the bowlers put together, maybe we'll get to that stage. Yeah. But the bowlers will be able to make that impact and win games for you. So I think ODI cricket and T20, that's the difference. You know, ODI is a longish format. So you can actually shift that emphasis from having that batting depth to saying that, okay, 5 bowlers, good bowlers, maybe the bowling attributes to more chance of you creating success in those middle overs or on the whole in 50 overs. And look at it that way. That will put a little bit of more pressure on the batters. Maybe a few batters will have to take more responsibility. But in the long run, you might be able to produce more results.
If you notice, when Rahul Dravid moved to keeping wickets, then he moved to number 5. At number 8, you had either Anil Kumble or Harbhajan Singh, both of whom could bat at number 8. Then you had, by playing him at 7, you were able to accommodate a batter. By playing him at 5, you were able to accommodate a batter at 7. But who were in your top 6? You had Yuvraj Singh in your top 6 when Rahul was keeping wickets. You had for a while Dinesh Mongia, who could bowl very dodgy action, but he could bowl a bit. But you had Sachin, you had Saurav, you had Viru.
Yeah.
So they could all combine to play a 5th bowler's role quite effectively.
Yeah.
Now in this team, if you want to do that, who's your 5th bowler in this team in the top 7? That is why they're trying to achieve that.
Yeah.
Shubman doesn't bowl, Rohit doesn't bowl, Virat doesn't bowl, Shreyas doesn't bowl, KL doesn't bowl. That is the issue with if you had someone there who was bowling, the lineup would have been a bit different.
Interesting. That 2011 World Cup as well, there was such a beautiful balance because a lot in the top order could bowl. Look at the Australian 11 now.
Yuvraj bowling allowed you to play Raina.
Yep.
Raina played at 7, right? Initially, Yusuf played at 7. Then Raina played at 7. And they could do that because both of them were bowling a bit, but Yuvraj was the bowler.
India has 2 years to sort those issues out. And look at the Australia 11 now. One change in Australia's 11, Hazlewood still playing. Surprisingly, Xavier Bartlett goes out for Nathan Ellis. He took Virat Kohli's wicket the other day.
Unless they're saying, look, Ellis was the original pick.
Yeah.
He wasn't available of whatever reason, so he picked Bartlett. Now that Ellis is available, he comes back in. That's a nice form of selection because everybody now knows how you're going to go about it. But Bartlett is the interesting one because he came on in his first over and took 2 wickets, right? Yeah. Including that ball to Virat. So he was the interesting one. What he said, Zach, was even more interesting afterwards. I mean, the ball that nipped back and got him LBW, he said, I was trying to bowl an outswing and it nipped back. How often has that happened to you, that you were trying to swing it one way, it hit the deck and actually nipped back the other way?
It happens pretty regularly, consistently, I think, and it's something which is condition-based as well. If there is moisture in the pitch or some dents in the pitch, you look to bowl the away swinger, but the ball, the way it lands, sometimes hit that dent or because of the moisture, just nips back in.
Call it natural variation, no, at times?
That's what happened.
I mean, and a lot of bowlers are actually bowling scrambled seam at times.
You never bowled scrambled, no?
I did. I tried, but it just used to come off on the seam for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that side of Zach bowling that upright seam was a delight. Now, Australia ODI champions. They're also in this transitional phase, Harsha. A lot of the names that beat India in that final are not there and may not be a part of that next ODI World Cup. How are you seeing their journey?
I think they're learning more from the series than India is.
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing at home, don't forget. They're playing at home. So if India was playing at home and India picked a Tilak Varma and India picked a Ruturaj Gaikwad or a Patidar, we would have found out a little bit more as well. But they're learning more. But what they're doing is they've got 2 years to get these people together. So they think Matt Short is going to be around. They think Cooper Connolly is going to be around. And because they'll have a little bit of bowling up there with Travis Head, especially Cooper Connolly, they can play a little bit of both in Mitch Owen. So they'll play 4 bowlers. And they'll play a bit of Mitch Owen, a bit of Cooper Connolly. Like we saw the other day, 10 overs went for 70.
Yeah.
But this is the side that they're slowly gravitating towards.
They don't seem to be missing Pat Cummins for now. Of course, in a big tournament, you need, your number one man, Pat Cummins. But things looking okay so far in the series?
I think Pat Cummins and Cam Green.
Oh, yeah.
Cam Green is the big one.
Yeah,
Yep.
They'll be looking at, because it just changes the balance.
Sure.
Someone who can bat in the top order. You've seen once the early wicket falls, Mitch Marsh and Travis Head pretty much have to do the heavy lifting. But you add Cameron Green at number 3. Suddenly, even if you lose early wicket, you can still continue with the tempo and put pressure on the bowlers. So I think Australia will be looking at Cam Green very closely and making sure that he's fit and available for the big one.
Look, because Steve Smith is gone, there's a place, direct entry Cam Green for Matt Renshaw. So the moment Cam Green comes in for Matt Renshaw, you get much more of a fifth bowler and a powerful batter through the middle.
Yeah.
So that'll change the balance completely. Next World Cup is where? South Africa. They need the Cam Green kind of player.
There is one player who can be a two-way player but doesn't want to be a two-way player. He prefers to bat. And since he's done that, take a look at his numbers. Mitchell Marsh captaining this team right now. The difference is stark. As all-rounder, look at those numbers, and as batter, things change across formats.
But I think opening is a big plus for him. You've seen that since the time he's been opening, that has had a very positive impact in his approach. Also, in terms of preparation, he's much more relaxed in his approach now, much more assured about his own game. I think what happens when you're not clear about how you want to approach or how you want to build the innings, you tend to make errors.
Yeah.
And rather than bowler getting you out, you lose your own wicket. And I think with Mitch Marsh now, he just kind of figured out that formula of absorbing pressure. So even if you miss few, you wait for your areas where you can have the maximum impact rather than making the play. So I think, that is something which has changed with Mitch Marsh.
It's interesting about Mitch Marsh. Apart from being a very good bowler, Zach is also a muscle and bone expert because he's had every muscle at some point has troubled him. Are there players who, whatever you do, there's just some things their bodies won't allow them to do?
Yeah.
Is Mitch Marsh that kind of player? Because he used to touch 140. He was a proper seam bowler, but every time he was bowling and batting, he was breaking down. So are there some, because their fitness is very natural. All Aussies is naturally, because they play rugby, they play other sport, they're fit.
Yeah.
But someone like Marsh is constantly breaking down. Is it that some bodies are just built like that?
Well, it just takes more and more time and energy to do those rehab exercises.
Yeah, everyone talks,
Yeah.
And then, you got to be focusing on your bowling as well, your batting as well. So I think it's very draining at times. And that one factor also with him, like he's been now just focusing on batting, that makes it that much easier. So I'm sure he has more time now just focusing on one discipline.
Does he openly talk about these things, or your time with him at LSG? Did this ever come up?
Yes, of course. I think that there is some physical limitation. There is some management with regard to his body, ankles especially. Which causes all sorts of problems.
It's a big unit
and yeah, so it's just about managing. And at the stage he is in his career, as you move past 30, every year becomes tougher and tougher in terms of getting those biomechanics going.
It becomes tougher and tougher much later in life also.
Harsha, sorry, go on.
I think the talk was at LSG that 4 overs at some point in the tournament he might bowl 4, right? And then he broke down and he went away again.
Yeah, so he did try, but it didn't really work. Also, my feeling is, he just decided that it's batting which is going to be, is going to take the mainstay.
And he talked about
bowling,
focus.
it just adds to more pressure, and it just creates more problem. So I think for him to continue to focus on batting seems to be that option. And Mitch Marsh, the bowler, I think he himself has given up.
Yeah, if you look at the numbers again, briefly, very briefly, if you look at Mitch Marsh's numbers again, you'll find that look at the IPL strike rate and look at the T20I overall strike rate. That's because he's now become that kind of batter with a license to do that at the top of the order. The moment he goes top of the order, the strike rates change. Why does it drop in ODIs? Because he's at the top of the order in ODIs, he doesn't have to play the same role. So even you notice yesterday, day before yesterday rather, his strike rate was a little lower as a batter because you have 50 overs in which to make an impact. But in T20, since he's become a batter, he's become that kind of player. He's stronger. I think his upper body is a lot stronger than it was. And as Zach said, I think his focus in his mind, he's now very clear. That I'm not part of this and lots of this. I'm only this now. So he's able to focus on that much better.
Years ago, you wrote an article, and that one line that you wrote in it stayed with me. You said you have to give the selectors more than one reason to pick you.
Yes.
But Mitchell Marsh is clearly secure enough to say, the bowler in me is not available. That part of me is offline. This is what I will offer, and he is willing to take that risk.
Yeah, I mean, the greatest story in Indian cricket is from many years ago when VVS Lakshman told the selectors, I'm not an opening batsman. Don't consider me. Doesn't matter if I don't get picked. Went back and he made 1200s. And said, now can you leave me out of the middle order? Similarly, I think Mitch Marsh has said, look, it's not happening for me, but can you pick me in this role? And now they've given him the captaincy, so he's actually performing in two ways. But ideally, yes, you must give selectors two reasons to pick you. If you're a batter, you must be a gun fielder. Or as a batter and bowler. If you're a keeper, you must bat, but there must be at least two reasons to pick you in the side. Or you must be so good in your single skill that it doesn't matter.
Mohammed Siraj is up next for a change. India bowling first. Siraj will have a first crack at this really hard pitch, which might offer some assistance earlier as well. Now, Siraj wasn't a part of that Champions Trophy squad. Clearly, it was a function of the combinations that Rohit Sharma was looking at. But he seems to have sort of gone off the boil in white ball cricket. In England, we saw when Bumrah wasn't around, he was on a roll, right? He was, in a way, the bowling captain of India. In red ball cricket, what's going wrong with Siraj? Is there a cause of concern? Because India has other options in Arshdeep, in the power play especially.
I think the non-selection of Champions Trophy was more to do with the combination they went ahead with and conditions. I think, if Bumrah is around, then obviously he's going to be the leader of the pack. Arshdeep is someone who has been doing well. Shami in the Champions Trophy had come back. And I think that was the reason that new ball spot was going to be taken by Shami to make those inroads. So Siraj was missed on that particular tournament. Other than, I think, in this particular series, what I liked is the shape which he's getting for right-handers going away from them. And he's getting that consistently. So that is something which he's been consciously working on. And his success has been always be linked with the number of wickets he's taken. And especially with the new ball. So he's not someone who is going to make that impact. Similar sort of numbers or approach to Shami. Shami, you will never judge him on the basis of how he's bowled in the back 10. But you'll always see that, okay, if he's making that impact at the top, then he's a must-have in your playing 11. I think Siraj has to have that kind of a lookout if he has to cement his place. There's still time for the big World Cup, and he can be there and form a good trio of fast bowler if you have Arshdeep, Bumrah and Siraj working together.
Where is he in that pecking order? Because if Shami comes back, if and when he does, there's Arshdeep as well. India is now developing Harsha. In white ball cricket, where is Siraj in that pecking order for you?
I think Bumrah is 1. I hope Arshdeep is 2. And I think Siraj could well be 3 on that pecking order. That's my gut feel at the moment. My only concern is how much he's bowling. You said don't want him to suddenly break down. He bowled such a lot in England. Yeah, he's had time off. He's probably incredibly fit. My gut feel was that today Siraj might set out for Prasidh. But I don't think Siraj is in the T20 squad anyway. So he'll just bowl this and then he'll come back. He'll get time off before the test match. But yeah, I think he's number 3 on that pecking order. I don't know what the situation with Shami is. My feeling is if Shami comes back, he might play more red ball than white ball. But I mean, Next round of Ranji Trophy matches starts today.
Yes.
When I'll tell all of you, go to the scorecards of all the games on the Cricbuzz app and look at Bengal and see what Shami is doing in his first 2 spells.
Where are you on this whole subject of workload management? There are divided opinions on that. A lot of fans who don't really understand what a player goes through are very critical, saying how can he not play for India? They tend to process it very emotionally, which is not always the right way to process things. But a player's perspective on why workload management is so important, especially for fast bowlers. You can't hold players guilty for, for wanting
I've
to play.
always been on one side with regard to workload management. You just got to play more and more. So that is something which is going to keep those bowling muscles also going. It's not easy to. Some workload management also means that sometimes you have to bowl more. So if you're getting ready for a test match, you are actually getting ready for 20 over in a day, 24 overs at times, and then come back and bowl the next day. So your workload should be increased to be able to match that kind of intensity. So I think workload management is very, very misunderstood phenomenon by a lot of people, I feel. It's just about making sure that you are in tune to do whatever your end goal, end result is. If you are a bowler and if you're not in rhythm, you got to bowl more. The only way you're going to improve your bowling is by bowling more. At that stage, if you are listening to your trainer and saying that, okay, you can only bowl 5 overs, then you can keep bowling 5 overs, but not where it matters, isn't it? So I think it's just about situations. It's just about managing that and being smart about it.
All the great bowlers in the past bowled a lot. Wasim Akram has been the most vocal about it, saying exactly what Zach is saying. Said the more you bowl, the more your rhythm, more you're in good rhythm. He used to play for Pakistan, he used to play for Lancashire, he used to play white ball cricket, he used to play red ball cricket, he used to bowl a lot. My only thing is, and I'm not an expert by any stretch in this, is if scans or whatever are showing that there is a potential stress fracture round the corner, then I can understand. But sometimes you just play too little. And I just think your body needs to be in tune with playing more. So the physio, you're an athlete, you're not a bodybuilder. So that's my view from the outside. I'm not an expert on these matters, but I genuinely believe that you must do more of what your profession is. You cannot become better by staying away from your profession.
Yeah. On a slightly related note or not, I saw a reel where Lata Mangeshkar said, "Jitna ho sake riyaz karo. Riyaz kabhi bahut nahi hota hai." I don't know if that works for players. Maybe, as Zach said, more and more is the way to go. Joy factor before we say goodbye. Quickly, bring it up. What has Joy sent us today? Oh, okay. Keeping 1,000 runs as a base parameter. The top 3 in this ODI stat list are all currently part of the same squad and yet haven't played together in the same 11.
But are they in the same ODI squad or in the T20 squad? The moment I see this question...
It has to be ODI, I think.
Okay, so...
ODI stat list, therefore.
They're all part of the same ODI squad, but they've never played together in the same 11. The top 3.
We have a lot of time.
Plenty of time.
6 hours. 7.
Okay.
Okay. We'll give you the correct answer at the end of our coverage tonight. Siraj is going to bowl the opening over. Quick predictions, gentlemen. Lots of runs in store.
Yeah, looking at the stats which are reflecting, I think, but I'll still go in with 295.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to go about there. So I'm happy to go 280, 285.
Okay, I'm going to go 301. You guys and girls can leave yours in the comment section as well. And we'll see you at the 15 over mark on Cricbuzz Combox. Bye for now.